Awesome. Hi, everybody. I'm Nora Bruffy, and I'm a digital account manager here at Practice Promotions. Like Jacob was saying, we are going to be going over how Google Ads and SEO can bring you more new patients in the door. So starting that off here today, we've got SEO. So what is SEO? What does it stand for? And what does it do for you? So SEO stands for search engine optimization. You might have heard your digital account manager say this before, but just as a refresher, SEO is the process of improving the quality and the quantity of website traffic coming to your website. And this is done on Google, Bing, and other search engines. It is not a paid traffic, so it's unpaid traffic rather than a direct traffic, again, or paid traffic source. So SEO is built over time. It can take months to achieve that first place position. And this is something that your digital account manager is continuously working on behind the scenes each months for you. So it's done through optimization of multiple things. One being your website. So all of your web pages are optimized for SEO to get those higher rankings for you, which ultimately brings you more new patients, as well as Google My Business optimization. And again, this is done on a monthly occurrence for you by your digital team here at Practice Promotions. So again, it's not an overnight process. It can take months to achieve that first place position for physical therapy near me or physical therapy in your town and city. So it is something to keep in mind. However, the effectiveness of SEO and rankings do last long term. So once you achieve that first to fifth place position there on Google, you typically stay within that range and consistently bring in traffic more long term.
All right, so what are Google Ads? Google Ads is an advertising platform where you, the advertisers, can bid on placement across Google's search network. You might hear us refer to this as PPC. This just means pay-per-click, which is the kind of advertising we run on Google. Quite literally, you pay when someone clicks on your ads. So Google Ads are made to target people searching for your services or your conditions, ultimately, of course, to help you get discovered by more potential patients. In terms of creation, Google Ads are, well, we say easy to create, but it's kind of when we're looking at in comparison to how much consistent work over time SEO can take to get to the top, whereas ads can pretty much start running the day we want them to. But ads do require money to run, which is why we like to say that they're good to run together.
Awesome. So now we're going to step into the Search Trinity, right? So how do they work together? What are these three elements? And I have an example here pulled up of a Google search for physical therapy near me as an example to show you the different sections on Google that we're trying to rank for in accordance to that Trinity effect. So first being on the top here, which is your Google Ads section. So with PPC, aka Google Ads, here at Practice Promotions, we are striving to get you in that top position here on top of Google. Following right alongside that underneath is your local SEO rankings. So these are your local listings. So it's the map section on Google. And then right below that, we have the start of your organic SEO results. So those are your just standard organic SEO rankings. And again, we're striving to be first place for all three of these. That is the ultimate goal here with the Search Trinity and with all of these elements working together at play. So now that we know what Google Ads are, we know what SEO is, how are they similar? So they share one main similarity in the fact that they are both driven by the same goals. The first goal being that they are here to help boost website traffic. So they're both here to help you get more people to your website, ultimately getting more patients in the door. Also, with that goes increasing visibility for your practice and beating out competition. This also helps to produce patient leads and phone calls. That's a main goal of Google Ads and SEO together. And they both appear on search engines. And the objective is, again, to rank high, to rank in that first place position. So we've got the similarities down. Let's talk differences. There's 4 main differences with Google Ads and SEO. The first being traffic. So with SEO, you're generating traffic continuously, especially once you get up to that top ranking position. Whereas with Google Ads, it only generates traffic for the duration of the campaign at play. And second being cost per click. So with SEO, it doesn't cost anything when somebody clicks on that link on your listing to your website. Whereas with Google Ads, you pay when people click on your listing. And third being time. So again, I'm going to harp on it. SEO takes time. It can take months. It can take a year to get you all the way up to that first place position for those keywords you're ranking for. Whereas Google Ads has faster results time. And with that going into our fourth difference, the tracking metrics. So ROI for SEO, it takes time because the results take time for SEO. It builds up over time. Whereas with Google Ads, you track those analytics and ROI instantaneously because you can see where that traction was pretty much immediately after that campaign has been set out. Awesome. So Google Ads can help your SEO strategy. You currently have an SEO strategy with your digital team here at Practice Promotions. So how can Google Ads make this better? How can we get you more new patients in the door? Well, the Search Trinity can really help assist with this. Google Ads incorporated inside of that. Again, we have this example here on the right-hand side. Just as a refresher, Google Ads are on the top. You have your local SEO listings in the middle and your organic SEO results there on the third element at the bottom. So we've got that Search Trinity. That basically means that once you have all of those things at play, you're ranking for every single spot that you possibly can. You're in the playing field at this point. So second is data from your Google Ads can help to analyze which terms drive the most conversions, meaning what potential patients are looking for the most so that you can pretty much pinpoint that and pivot your SEO strategy overall. The next thing is high-performing ad keywords can be incorporated into the website and into your SEO to increase your organic click-through rates. So essentially ranking higher means more visibility for your practice, right? We want to get you more new patients. That is the ultimate goal here at the end of the day. And lastly, Google Ads can help see what demographics are interacting and converting on your website. So helping you to understand who your potential patients are and how to best target them for future campaigns, for future SEO strategy, and for tweaking all of those keywords that we're ranking for at play. And now we're going to dive into which is better, right? Which is better, Google Ads or SEO? And I'm going to pass this over to Mara.
All right, thanks, Nora. So jumping right in, which is better, Google Ads or SEO? So that's going to be kind of like comparing apples to oranges. Using both of these channels is going to help build your online presence. So you can use ads to build traffic in parallel to the constant work that your digital account manager is doing on your SEO, your content marketing plan, and your social media campaigns, which build both paid and organic traffic. So if one day we can't have your Google Ads running, you still have strong SEO, which can carry you through. So we know a lot about SEO. We know the differences between that and Google Ads, but what is so special about Google Ads and why do we love running them here? So your ads are unique in quite a few ways. So they focus more on leads and sales, which can be tracked and also make calculating your ROI a little bit easier. You can also target many keywords at the same time for a broader reach. However, Google Ads are only impactful when they're running, which does require a budget. So this is all paid traffic. Ads do cost money, but they can be incredibly impactful when run on an appropriate budget. So your Google Ads can also help fill in the gaps. So ads boost your traffic and aim to assist where SEO may still be ramping up. So as Nora said, that can take up to a year. Your ads can pretty much start bringing in traffic day one. When we are bidding in Google Ads on the same keywords we're aiming to rank for within SEO, that is just twice the opportunity to find new patients. And ads can help you expand your reach outside of the hyperlocal constraints that Google does have. As we know, with the vicinity update that just happened, people, Google is focusing on being hyperlocal in the map section. So ads can help you expand that reach and get people outside of your area coming to visit.
And just to touch on, not overlook too much, the vicinity update. So that was something, correct me if I'm wrong, like November that Google launched, right? That's what we're talking about as a update that brought, they're trying to bring results even closer to where the person is, right? Basically is the word vicinity there, right? So.
All right, so yeah, ads just kind of help bridge that gap. If you're looking for people a little bit farther outside of that area that, Google kind of distinguishes for each searcher. So using the two together brings in the most new patients. Building your online presence does require a holistic approach. This takes a lot of work in all of the different facets of online marketing, which is why you have us. So you guys can focus on helping more people, and we will take care of all of the things that concern your web presence. So looking at a quick little example of one of our clients that just launched their ads. So this client launched their ads March 3rd of this year. We are looking at their analytics dashboard for March of this year, and it is being compared to February. I know it's a little bit difficult to see, but if you look in the top right corners, you can see that every single one of those metrics has a pretty significant increase from the month before. So for example, their reactivated patient leads are up 76% from February, and their website visitors are up 109%. So as you can see, pretty much straight off the bat, when you start your Google ads, you're going to start seeing results, getting more people to your website. Whereas, this is an upgrade. So this person has had constant work on their SEO, but ads just kind of gave them, an additional little boost that they needed. And then those are, in case you had trouble seeing them, those wonderful numbers that we're seeing.
Yeah, so thank you guys. Again, Maura and Nora both work on every day, several client accounts using Nora more on the digital side, so SEO and the websites and things like that. And then Maura helps us with the PPC side, Google ads specifically, and digging really deep into those takes a lot of work to make that go right. Sorry, my screen's still loading. I am going to take that back here. But so the real question though is, what's the impact? So these two have a wealth of knowledge. That analytics board, I had to ask them questions like, what am I looking at here? But at the end of the day, why might you do this? Or is this for me? We can talk about it working for a lot of different industries. We can talk about it working for other things, but why might it be for you? So I just wanted to touch on a little bit to close out, like reasons you might go through that. You saw the stats of one person, just that's one example, showing a monthly increase of more than double in certain ways, especially calls. We get a lot of phone call results from Google ads, right, Mara? So that's just, again, opportunities for you to bring in patients. So the goal is, again, discovery, right? When we teach marketing strategy, the very first step is getting discovered by people in your community online. And so for SEO, the strategy is to get discovered a little more and to build up over time the amount of people who can follow or can find you, but it takes time, and ultimately the result is kind of in the control of Google. We can do all these efforts, to make your site get found, and there's a lot of work that goes into that, but Google cares about its users. It doesn't care about you. frankly, when it comes to search, Google doesn't care about your website. They care about the searcher. And that's why they have made billions of dollars. When it comes to ads, it's more controlled by your investment. I think a lot of people have tried Google Ads before and spent a ton of money and not gotten a lot of results. You don't have to spend a crazy amount. You'd be a little surprised, I think, at some of our clients, how many patients they're bringing in for only, under $1,000 a month. But if you want to up that investment to get more results, you can. You have more control over that. It's also, like they said, a faster start. So determining what's right for you, take those into consideration. If you're starting from scratch, combining those gives you, again, more of that control and also potentially faster start. The other situation, put the word dip in the chat if summer is a slow month for you. Anybody feel that? Or slow season, I should say. Where'd my chat window go? Here we go. Yes, dip, yes. So if you're not starting from scratch, you know that patient volume does not stay consistent. It's the same for us here, Practice Promotions. Our client, business is seasonal, unfortunately. So another strategy that some people use, you could add, let's say, ads right on top of that and still have a seasonal flow, just getting more, and that's not a bad thing. But some people will also plan ahead to try and bolster those lower months, right? If you're going to invest more and plan for those to try and really help with those summer, in this case, because I know that that's a common example, but whatever your slow months to be, you can actually invest in that a little bit more and plan for that and kind of try to keep a little more consistency. So there's several use cases. The end goal is, again, raising the amount of people finding you online, and we can. And also, if you feel like, who's ever felt like they've done marketing and just have no idea about the results? Like, did it work? Anybody felt that? Let's put let's say IDK or in the chat or something. It can be frustrating. Ads and these online things we design them to be very, very trackable. Calls, like I said, we get a lot of calls from ads. The example they just showed you, you can see the number of leads coming in. You see exactly what came from paid search, which is Google Ads, or organic, which is SEO. With call tracking tools, we can show you where those calls come from as well. So you know exactly what's happening and you have that control. So circling back, thank you guys I hope that so far you have a little bit of an understanding here. We'll get to questions in just a second. So last chance, if you want to drop a question in the chat. Just to remind you again, where you're at currently, we might be handling some of this for you already. If you, and then these other plans handle, especially the Pro and the new version, the Ultimate, have both involved in that. And then, so let's see, I'm going to put up another poll. If you know your plan, I won't share these results publicly, so you can just drop those in. But if you want to look at your plan, or if you have any idea like, oh, maybe I should look at these new things, you can always get in touch with, we call her Fitch, Melissa Fitch. If you haven't met her yet, she's fantastic. She can tell you all about different ways to get your clinic out in front of more people, whether that's ads or anything else. So practicepromotions.net/Fitch, and you can schedule a time with her. Any 15 minutes, chat about whatever you need to look at new opportunities. So highly recommend that. We'll come back to that in a minute. So let's do questions. Please feel free to drop them in the chat. I'm going to read some of the ones that have come in. So if I can move, I have way too many windows open. Sorry, guys. All right. Melissa asked, what are some things that we can work on to boost our organic ranking? I'm going to pull in Nora for that one.
Yes, that is a great question. There's a lot involved with boosting organic, and that has to do a lot with SEO. So that is definitely something that is on your digital account manager's shoulders. Each month they are going through, for example, they are optimizing your Google My Business page. They're optimizing your website for on-page SEO work, and also sending out those blogs and those social posts with SEO enriched keywords. There's so much that's going on behind the scenes in terms of just basically getting as many keywords out as possible across all those different platforms. And, things that you as, the business owner can do on your end is asking for those Google reviews, making sure to respond to them with, thank you so much for coming in for, if they said that they came in for neck pain, reiterating that back to them can really help boost your neck pain keyword, for example, which can boost your organic traffic. I hope that better explains it a little bit for you. There's a lot that's involved with organic, but just making sure that you're asking for those Google reviews. We're optimizing your pages, your Google My Business profile, and there's a lot on the Google Ads side as well that can help boost with organic traffic. They both work together. So another reason, why PPC Google Ads works so well with your SEO strategy.
So if you're on, again, one of our plans here, we have people working every month in the background doing those technical things that you don't need to spend your time learning because it would be a lot, right? Working on optimization of the web pages. Where are you currently ranking for things like back pain, et cetera? And yeah, like I said, the things like online reviews, the listing builder tool in your business center to make sure that your information is just accurate on the internet from one place instead of from Yelp and all these other different profiles. That's another way for you to be paying attention to it and helping out. So it's a great. And then on the reviews thing, because we get this question a lot, I haven't seen it yet, but talking about specific conditions and HIPAA compliance, if they mention, oh, I was having this issue in my neck with, and they helped me in the review, you can reply back to them obviously and address that. So in the way you ask for reviews, encouraging people to tell stories is just really a great way because they will offer more information than obviously you can from a HIPAA standpoint. So awesome. Looks like the rest so far are on ads. We'll have 2 more questions come in. Let's see. Is there a recommended budget? And do you have stats, proving this worked before? We covered the one example. Why don't I, Mara, I'll do is actually send out a follow-up email to registrants here. We'll include a couple other examples. We definitely have plenty of that. So, and then what's the typical ROI? So if you want to talk about budgets and ROI a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a couple different numbers that we kind of throw out when we're looking at budget, but one huge thing to note is your budget will be and should be very dependent on your location and the competition around you. So for example, if you know that the 3 other PT practices in your area are also running Google Ads, that's just more of an indication of competition that we should raise our budgets. Granted, when you work with practice promotions for your ads, we do have a very, very highly researched and very specialized way of running our ads. So I do say that we have an advantage over some people using general marketing campaigns. But we always say the absolute minimum budget that any of your Google ads should run on is $600 a month. Our recommendation is $750 per clinic. But we will kind of advise you in your first PPC call after looking at your location and the competition as to what we think an appropriate budget would be. We want to be sure that we're using the budget appropriately and leaving room for growth as well in the future. And then touching on ROI, kind of the same thing, very, very dependent on different areas. I think, we have some clients that are in New York City that are seeing an ROI of around, $60 to $70 a patient. We're having some in more rural areas that might be a little bit more expensive, but overall, we do see a very good return on investment, especially when looking at the call volume that's generated from the Google ads. It's not only people who are looking for PT, it's people who are also finding your conditions and perhaps not even knowing that PT was an option. So we're kind of able to reach out there to a new group of people that, your SEO is also building towards, but ads can push a little bit further more immediately.
Awesome. Yeah, it's definitely, New York City is more expensive to advertise in than Birmingham, Alabama. But yeah, the goal is obviously ROI. We're always going to be looking at, are those leads coming in cost effective for you? That's why we put the value of leads generated in the analytics dashboard. And the example you showed there with 76% increase is on a 30 patients. That's like 13 more patients roughly, or leads. So if they were spending, and that's just the leads, that's not the calls too, right? So if they were spending that minimum 600, what is that? 600 divided by 13, that's roughly what, $46 a lead. And so the value of your patients, from a collection standpoint, what a patient's worth to your clinic. If somewhere in that $50 range is cost effective to bring them in and you still profit, then you're in a good place there. So and that's, again, the kind of thing that we can certainly discuss in a case-by-case basis with you if you want to look at it. Thank you, Maura. Any other? I lost my chat window again. Okay. Anything else? Let's see. We talked about PPC, we talked about Google Ads. We have something to announce, so I guess we should get on with that because some people are probably waiting for us, right? Let's see. Winner of our $100 gift card this week looks like Kurt Garber from Garber PT. Is Kurt on the call? That is a question. Congratulations if you are, Kurt. Again, this is a monthly contest, so definitely keep entering, fill out your stat tracker. And if you're not in our Insider Circle Facebook group, go, join that. We can approve your requests quickly. Want to reiterate, if you do have questions remaining about your current account, I saw several not sure what your current plan is, get in touch with your account manager. We want to talk to you about that. And if you're looking at, should I do additional tools? I want to cost what PPC might look like. I misspelled it. Oh my goodness. Practice permissions.net/Fitch. Please don't go to itch. I don't know what that would do, but it can't be good things. So we'll put that in the chat. And thank you all for joining us today. This is a topic that we cover a lot. You can check out our blog or keep an eye out on emails for more information. And thank you, Maura and Nora. All right. Have a great rest of your Thursday, everyone. We will get the recording out, Maura. Yes. We have a set of replays of all of these monthly webinars, so we'll get that out in a follow-up email. Be looking out for that. All right. Thank you, everyone.